Hi everyone, so today we're going to take a look at a brand new, very interesting 538 forecast for the Democratic primary, so who will win the Democratic nomination. Right now, if we just, this is very detailed, they have every single state, how they think each of these different states will vote in terms of who's going to win them. But it's going to get very interesting. But just taking a look at this top line numbers, they're saying Biden has a 38% chance to win more than half of the pledged delegates. Sanders with 24%, to contest a convention at 14%, Warren at 13%, Buttigieg at 9%, and everyone else combined at 2% or less. So, this is very interesting, fascinating. Who will win Iowa? Right now, they're saying Biden is forecasted to win 25% of the vote. So they're saying Biden will win Iowa. Here they're saying Sanders. It's quite confusing. I'm going to need to work out how to sort of work all of this out. Buttigieg is forecasted to win 21% of the vote, Warren at 17%, but then Biden 25%. In 80% of simulations, he wins between 4 and 46% of the vote. He has a 3 in 10 chance of winning the most votes, essentially tied with the second most likely winner, Sanders, who has a 29% chance. So, I don't know if I necessarily agree that Biden is the most likely to win Iowa. I would say, as of right now, Sanders and Buttigieg would be the most likely. Buttigieg, he wins average of 21% of the vote. So it's going to get very interesting. Where the delegates come from, Iowa will award 41 pledged delegates, 14 will be given out based on the statewide vote, and 27 will be given out based on the congressional votes in this district. So if we say, let's say Sanders here, they're saying Sanders would, this is the average forecasted statewide delegate vote, and then one box is 1 delegate. So Biden wins 4 delegates, Sanders wins 3.8, Buttigieg gets 3.1, Warren gets 2.4, everyone else gets 0.8, and then obviously plus the statewide votes. So, who will win New Hampshire? Sanders, they're saying most likely. He has a 1 in 3 chance of winning the most votes, slightly better than the second most likely winner, Biden, who has a 1 in 4 chance. And if we take a look at that, Biden, obviously 1 in 4 chance to win. Buttigieg, they're saying 1 in 4 chance to win, and then Warren, they're saying 1 in 6 chance to win. I would say Warren has a slightly better chance than 1 in 6 chance to win the state of New Hampshire. We'll just take a look at the first 4, but this is very interesting. I'll put a link to this website if you want to take it out and check it out for yourself. If we take a look at Nevada, they're saying Biden has a 1 in 3 chance of winning most votes, essentially tied with the second most likely winner, Bernie Sanders, who has a 1 in 3 chance as well. So they're saying Biden, a narrow favorite to win Iowa, which I would definitely disagree with. I would say Sanders and Buttigieg are the favorites. And then they're saying Biden is most likely to win Nevada. I would say Biden is definitely most likely to win Nevada, much more likely than Sanders. But if we take a look at Sanders himself, he has a 1 in 3, essentially tied with Biden. That's what we already explained. Warren, they're saying she has a 1 in 6 chance of winning the most votes. And Buttigieg, they're saying, has a 1 in 9 chance. Yeah, Buttigieg is not very likely to win Iowa. And you can keep going down the list. Steyer has a 1 in 60% chance of winning the most votes. Klobuchar has a less than 1 in 100 chance. Andrew Yang, less than 1 in 100. Cory Booker, Michael Bloomberg. And you just keep going all the way down the list. 0.2, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, Sestak is, Harris no longer actively campaigning. So, who will win New Hampshire? And then South Carolina, this one's pretty obvious. Biden, forecasted to win, has a 1 in 2 chance of winning the most votes. I would say it's slightly better than 1 in 2 as of right now, but here's the thing. This model also takes into consideration the fact that if, let's say, Sanders wins Iowa, he has a pretty good chance of winning Iowa. And because of that, Sanders wins New Hampshire. And because of that, he stays competitive in Nevada. Now, all of a sudden, South Carolina is not necessarily a total a total blowout for Joe Biden. But I still think he's definitely a favorite to go on and win. Who will win California? They're saying Sanders, I think, is most likely to win. He has a 1 in 3 chance. Biden has a 1 in 3. Sanders has a little bit better than a 1 in 3. Warren has a 1 in 5. And then Buttigieg has a 1 in 9 chance. And then you just go down the list. I mean, there's no point even going all the way down. If we take a look at Harris, that's her home state. She's forecasted to win 0% of the vote, obviously, because she's already dropped out. Texas, Biden, that's pretty obvious that Texas is going to be there. North Carolina, Biden has a 1 in 2, Sanders has a 1 in 4, Buttigieg has a 1 in 12, Warren has a 1 in 8 chance. In Virginia, they're saying Biden, will win. Sanders has a 1 in 4 though, so staying competitive. They're saying Elizabeth Warren is forecasted to win 3 in 10 chance of winning in Massachusetts. She really has to win Massachusetts at this point. Who will win Minnesota? I would actually disagree with this. They're saying he's got a 3 in 10. I would say Sanders is definitely more likely to win Minnesota. Just out of curiosity, Amy Klobuchar actually has a 1 in 10 chance of winning Minnesota, which isn't actually too bad for Amy Klobuchar. Colorado, they're saying Bernie Sanders will win, not a surprise there. In Tennessee, Biden, that's pretty obvious. Same thing with Alabama. Oklahoma, I mean, Sanders, I think he could remain competitive in Oklahoma. They're saying Biden's going to run away with it. I don't know about that. Arkansas, Biden, yep. Deep South. In Utah, Bernie Sanders, yep. That does all make sense. In Maine, Joe Biden will win. Vermont, Bernie Sanders, he has a 2 in 3 chance. And this is the thing. At this point, you would say, oh, Bernie Sanders is going to run away with the Vermont vote. I mean, 2 in 3 chance. He's obviously going to. I don't buy that. But here's the thing: if Bernie gets like 4th in Iowa, and because of that he gets like 3rd in New Hampshire, and then he does really poorly in Nevada and he gets blown out in South Carolina, then he might drop out and endorse Warren or something. That's what all of these simulations are taking into account. I'm not really sure about American Samoa. So they're saying Biden has a 2 in 5, and then Sanders has a 3 in 10. Well, we know, Michigan, we know Michigan's history in the primary, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Michigan. Washington, that's pretty clear that Bernie will win. Missouri, yeah, Biden, I think Sanders could win Missouri. Mississippi, Biden state. Idaho, I actually think Sanders could actually win. They're saying Sanders has a 1 in 3. I'm not sure about that, but this is really, really interesting. I really like this model that they're doing. I don't know. I think Sanders will win North Dakota and the Democrats abroad, given how big he won them in 2016. I don't really know Northern Mariana Islands. Florida, yep, that's a Biden state. Illinois, I mean, it's hard to say. Clinton won it in 2016, but Sanders was close, and that was her home state. They're saying Biden's going to pretty much run away with it. I'm not sure. See, as we get closer and closer to the convention, you start to see, well, because they assume that Biden's going to win some early states, which will give him momentum, which will keep sort of torpedoing him to the nomination, and it sort of gets harder and harder to stop. And then if we take a look at, say, Klobuchar in Arizona, she has a 1 in 100 chance because they already assume that she's dropped out. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. And then Georgia, Biden, they're saying 35% of the vote. Puerto Rico, they're saying Biden will win in Puerto Rico. Louisiana, yep, that makes sense. Hawaii, Bernie won in Hawaii last time. He remains close in Hawaii. Alaska, in Wyoming, some of these I would disagree with, but at this point, Like take Wisconsin for example. Right now they have Biden as the favorite. If the Wisconsin primary was held today, I'm sure Sanders would win, right? But the thing is they assume that Biden's already won some of these previous contests, and that might mean, Sanders could have dropped out by then, or he could have been irrelevant by then, if you sort of know what I mean. See, almost all of these are like Biden states now, even things like, Rhode Island, Delaware, Kansas. I mean, you would think Kansas would actually go to Sanders, but because of that. Anyway, you sort of get the point. I will link to, see, by now it's pretty much all Biden states because of the sort of torpedo effect they're saying. So yeah, and then if you take a look at something like a safe sort of established state late in the game, it's pretty clear Biden's going to win that. And then New Mexico, Joe Biden, DC, Joe Biden, Montana, Joe Biden. See, everything's just Biden territory by the end because they assume everyone else has dropped out. So I just wanted to take a look at all that. It's very, very interesting. This is only a little bit. You can even go into specific districts. So, for example, in New Hampshire, if you can see here, 2.4, all districts, average forecasted district level delegates, they're saying 4.7, and then for District 1, they're saying Sanders will win 2.3 delegates and 2.4 in the second one. And then Warren, you can see, doing a bit better in the first, like Sanders, but it is very, very interesting. And then if you go here into Biden in Nevada, it's much better in like California, for example. Look at California because there's so many districts. It can get a bit hard to see, but let's take 20th congressional district. Sanders, they're saying, has a 1.6, followed by Biden, followed by Warren, followed by Buttigieg. But it's very interesting, so I will link it down in the video description of this video, and then you can take a look at a specific race. So if you wanted just to take a look at the state of Colorado, say, you can see Bernie, looks like he's going to win in Colorado. Anyway, it's really interesting. I will link to it down in the video description. So thank you very much for watching. Comment down your suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.